Could Democrats retake the House of Representatives? There are 435 voting members of the U.S. House of Representatives, representing the 50 states. All 435 seats are up for election every 2 years. Republicans currently hold 237 of these seats. Democrats hold 193. There are 7 vacant seats. According to politics site and polling data aggregator Real Clear Politics, as of midnight on Election Day, Democrats were expected to win 203 seats, while Republicans were expected to win 194. 38 races were considered to be toss-ups. For the Democrats, 173 of the seats were considered to be safe. 15 seats were likely to go to the Democrats, and 15 were leaning toward the Democrats. For the Republicans, 149 seats were considered safe, 20 were considered likely to be won by the GOP, and 25 were leaning toward the Republicans. Among the 38 races that were too close to call, Democrats currently hold 5 of these seats, while the Republicans hold 33. This means the Democrats have to defend far fewer seats than the Republicans. A total of 218 seats are needed to gain a majority in the House of Representatives. According to statistical analysis site 538, as of November 1st, the Democrats had an 85% chance of taking back the House. States are divided into a certain number of districts based on their population size. In order to send a proportionate number of representatives to the House, every state is guaranteed at least 1 seat, no matter how small its population. In some states, the party in power will draw up district lines to give it an advantage in as many congressional races as possible. This process is called gerrymandering. According to the Washington Post, studies show this happens more often in states controlled by Republicans, though Democrats also engage in the practice. Here are more stories related to U.S. politics. Trump seems to have an uncontrollable fetish for dictators. President Donald Trump made history this week as he met Kim Jong-fatty, North Korea's murderous dictator, in Singapore. You know, the guy that fed his uncle to some dogs and has had hundreds of people killed. One thing that has become evidently clear is that Trump has a real affinity for dictators. Some say he may have the worst case of dictator envy in history. While meeting with the G7, Trump proposed letting shirtless Putin back into the G8, while at the same time just skipping over the invasion of Ukraine and the annexation of Crimea like it was his veggies. The problem is that as Trump gushes over dictators like Xi, his little henchman Kim Fats, and pectorals Putin, he threatens the very democracy that protects the world from these evil douches. President Trump literally is the most powerful man in the world, yet he looks up to spineless autocrats and envies their strength. And with all this North Korea nonsense going on, Trump has once again been played. Because it's not North Korea that's causing the problems in Asia, it's China. Maybe Trump should ask Ivanka if there are any ancient Chinese fortune cookie proverbs to consult. Is the ISS about to go commercial? Heads up, investors, the International Space Station might soon be up for grabs. Trump is planning to cut off funding to the ISS after 2024 and wants to instead turn it over to the private sector. In his vision of events, the space station would be a commercially run venture. NASA won't be managing, and it will be just another client. Of course, at the moment, the president doesn't have anything specific in mind, but he will be requesting $150 million in funding to hammer out the plan. For all we know, it could be goodbye science experiments and hello space hotels. Or not, because, man, that's an expensive ride. If the US does give up its space outpost, there's no doubt Russia and China are going to swoop in to lead the space race. Apart from Trump and NASA's new administrator, though, no one else seems on board with this privatization mission. Even Ted Cruz called the idea extremely stupid. Here's hoping someone, everyone, can stop this madness. Someone's getting way ahead of themselves. The president of South Korea is rooting for Trump to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for helping bridge the North-South divide. And no, he's not joking. With the two Koreas now talking peace and denuclearization, President Moon Jae-in says it's mostly thanks to old Donald. The same peace-loving fella who threatened North Korea with nuclear annihilation just a year ago. Sure, the Trump administration has been hurling sanctions and insult tweets left and right, and breathing down both the North's and China's necks. But it's hard to say just how much of that is actually responsible for Kim Jong-un's renewed interest in peace, if he's even truly interested. Seeing Trump and Nobel Peace Prize in the same sentence is mind-boggling enough, but it isn't even the worst part. Former South Korean President Kim Dae-jung won the prize in 2000 for setting up a summit with the North. His widow wished the same to Moon, who then went on to endorse Trump. So the possibility of Trump being awarded a peace prize? Very real? He's definitely all for it. The rest of us, not so much.
How does a presidential impeachment work? With a backlash growing over recent Donald Trump controversies, including sharing classified information with Russia, a growing number of Democrats are calling for the president to be impeached. In the U.S., the process of impeaching an official is a three-step process, and often more political than criminal in nature. There are 3 offenses listed in the Constitution for which a president can be impeached: treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors. Since the third reason carries no definition, whether or not an offense falls under that category is up to the members of the House. Articles of impeachment are first reviewed by the House Judiciary Committee to determine if there are grounds for removal. The House of Representatives then puts the motion for impeachment to a vote. If the majority are in favor, the president is impeached, and the process moves to the Senate. A trial is held, after which the Senate votes for conviction or acquittal. If 2/3 vote to convict, the president is relieved of his position and can be barred from holding office. Historically, no president has ever been removed from office. Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton were both impeached but never convicted. With Republicans currently dominating both the House and Senate, the likelihood of a Trump impeachment is slim. So unless damning evidence surfaces and Trump loses a significant chunk of support from his party, it seems the president is here to stay.